How Turkish TV series increased tourist flow over the past few years. We're now in Turkey. Since the late 2000s, Turkish TV series have become a global phenomenon. The Magnificent Century, The Ran, You Knock on My Door, Burakas Çivit. Now girls are like, ow! And guys are like, who? All these shows not only gathered millions of fans worldwide, but also made Turkey probably the main tourist destination over the last 30 years. Truly not only from my country, but worldwide as well. Just imagine, in 1995, Turkey was visited by almost 8 million tourists, and now it's over 50 million. You know, it's like Game of Thrones, which was filmed in Northern Ireland. By the way, we also made an episode from there. Today we dive into the world of Turkish TV series, find out where fans stalked their favorite actors and where the Magnificent Century fans head to first. So, The Magnificent Century is perhaps one of the most famous series. It tells the story of Sultan Suleiman's reign and his love story with harem. As for the filming, the Turks really made a clever move. The history and luxury of Topkapi Palace became one of the reasons crowds of tourists come to Istanbul every year. The palace once served as the residence of the sultans of the Ottoman Empire. Key scenes unfold right here, from political intrigues to love dramas of Sultan Suleiman and harem. Today is one of the most visited places in Istanbul. Here you can walk through the palace corridors resembling the events of the series. Although you might not know that the actual filming took place not in the palace itself, but on a special set, where they realistically recreated the interiors. Still, this doesn't stop people from wandering the palace and feeling its atmosphere. You can buy fast-track tickets at the machines. And it also says that you can get a free audio guide in your language. So you get a ticket, but to get the audio guide, you have to go to another counter, and there is a queue of about 100 people. I didn't get the audio guide because, well, it's pretty ridiculous to stand in a queue for this audio guide. Topkapi Palace was the heart of the Ottoman Empire for 400 years. It was built by Mehmed II in the 15th century. This complex ultimately became a home for the sultans and a true symbol of power. Just imagine a palace with an area of 700,000 square meters, stunning views of the Bosphorus and the Sea of Marmara. Here, every courtyard and pavilion tells a story about the lives of the rulers. Today, Topkapi is a must-see museum, and you can watch my episode about this palace. Inside the palace are the throne room, the famous harem, which housed over 1,000 women, and treasury with artifacts including the sword of Prophet Muhammad, his mantle, and even the imprint of his foot. Besides Topkapi, people often visit the Iftar Pavilion in Yildiz Park. Quite cozy, amazing views of the Bosphorus. The pavilion was built specifically for dinners during Ramadan. Iftar means the evening meal with which Muslims break their daily fast. Entry without the harem is 500 liras, with the harem is 650. Speaking of time, set aside several hours, depending on your pace. The palace is large, there are also courtyards, and there is a lot to see. You know, what amazes me the most here, me and other people around here, we can walk around these grounds, enjoy all this, but before, not long ago, no ordinary person could see any of this. It's all belonged to royalty. Now we have this opportunity, and it's truly amazing. For another dose of pure Ottoman atmosphere, check out the Blue Mosque. Even though the Blue Mosque was world famous already, its popularity soared even higher during the filming of The Magnificent Century. Although the mosque was built after Suleiman's reign, it perfectly conveys the refinement and grandeur. This is believed to define Ottoman's architecture, which is why its interiors and surrounding locations were used for a number of scenes. The Blue Mosque has 6 minarets, and this caused controversy at the time of its construction because the Great Mosque of Mecca was the only mosque with 6 minarets. Typically, mosques have 4 minarets, but Sultan Ahmed I wanted his mosque to be the most majestic and surpass the splendor of other mosques of the time, including the nearby Hagia Sophia. But let's get back to the series. What's so special about them? Why are they so influential? Many of us wouldn't have known about Turkish wonders if not for these series. As a result, we get advertising for the country through the plot. The series show picturesque Turkish cities, rural landscapes, historical monuments and natural beauty, breathtaking landscapes of Istanbul and Cappadocia. Viewers want to become tourists and visit places they've seen on TV. An interest to the culture. Turkish TV shows often weave in elements of local traditions, everyday life and culture. Tourists want to experience these traditions, try local cuisine and explore Turkish culture on site. Strong emotional connections with characters and places where events take place. Liaisons at locations, let's call it that. Let's agree, all this is a powerful motivator for travel, and of course, well-chosen actors and actresses. Well, it's impossible not to pay attention to this entire Turkish cast. And also their on-screen romantic relationship. Can Yaman, Kıvanç Tatlıtuğ, Burak Özçivit, Kerem Bürsin. What about actresses? Fahriye Evcen, Başak Dizer, Özge Gürem, Demet Özdemir, Meryem Üzerli, Bergüzar Kural, Hande Erçel. You can list your own crushes below. We should also mention the growing interest in medical tourism, which is also mentioned in Turkish series, especially dentistry and plastic surgery. Resourceful agencies have developed special routes to locations of popular shows, and the Turkish Ministry of Culture actively supports the connection between Turkish series producers and tourism. Here I want to draw parallels with Game of Thrones and its influence on tourism in Northern Ireland. This TV project also became a way to promote this country and stimulate interest in travel. I once flew to Belfast and went on a tour to see filming locations. Game of Thrones used unique natural and historical locations of Northern Ireland. Canals, caves, cliffs, castles, and today tourists from all over the world come to see the Northern Kingdom with their own eyes. How does all this affect the economy? Hotels, restaurants, tour companies, souvenir shops all benefit from the tourists. Moreover, private and public investment in infrastructure has been activated. Tourist sites are being developed. Game of Thrones has become a cultural phenomenon. The series influenced the perception of Northern Ireland, making it seen as a unique and mysterious place. A real fantasy world we can step into. Well, who cared about Northern Ireland before Game of Thrones? The series made the country more recognizable, drew attention to its historical monuments and natural beauty. Minister of Tourism in Northern Ireland uses the Game of Thrones image in advertising. Every year, the project brings over £50 million to the region, thanks to tourists visiting the filming locations, which is crazy for a country with a population of less than 2 million.